Warning, this podcast may contain some really chilly puns. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Gotham, Season 2, Episode 11, Worse Than a Crime. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, John.
That joke got a really cold reception.
Don't give me the cold shoulder.
We should stop.
But we won't. There'll be
We
more.
won't.
There'll be more.
Oh.
Yes, so,
Anyway.
Mr. Freeze? Should that seems like a really terrible
Yeah,
place to start.
I guess we could just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, oh my god, like, I mentioned it before the podcast, but I will say it again now. I got confused and thought it was Firefly. And then they shot the opposite out of their gun. So, it was very quickly corrected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure, like, because it's like, okay, Indian Hill, and then it's just like, okay, and then this logo title card comes in, it's all like Frost, and it came in, and right. I was like, I was like, oh, it's going on its winter break, ha, 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 ha. and then there was another scene, and I was like, oh, okay, didn't we just talk about, isn't it a little early for Victor Freeze to be Mr. Freeze?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what that is, unless maybe the Nora thing will be happening already, and she's already frozen.
Well, yeah, I don't know necessarily if she'll be frozen, but she'll definitely, be stage 1 of whatever. What was that disease? Do you even remember?
I actually don't know offhand.
Yeah, I don't remember. She was in early stages of it, and then that's when he cryogenetically froze her.
Yeah.
And, so he could find the cure and everything. So I think we're going to be in the very early stages of that. So she may already be frozen, but I think it'd be more interesting to see her not frozen.
Oh, she has Huntington's disease.
Huntington's.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, well, now we know that.
Yeah, Lee
change it.
Lee Sang and Jay, he's not Mr. Freeze yet. Well, he kind of is, but they cast Nora, which they're gonna have to, regardless if she's cryogenetically, frozen in the water tube, like every depiction of her, or if she's a cast member, that's going to be interacting with people. Either way, the role had to be cast. So
yeah, and
Lee's
I get
saying
the feeling
it's McGregor syndrome.
Oh, maybe it. Honestly, they probably have changed it depending on who's telling the story. So.
McGregor syndrome was the one in Batman Forever, if I remember, or Batman and Robin. Sorry, got my Batmans mixed up. Batman Forever was the most sympathetic of all the or how did Jack Black put it? The most sensitive of all the Batmans. So
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Because I just read in one of the New 52 comics that it just made Freeze out to be, I don't want to really spoil it, but it made Freeze out to be like way more of a psycho than you thought.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I have that fresh in my head.
Nice.
I'm just like,
I'm curious where they'll go with it. Which route they'll take.
I don't know. They've been kind of avoiding the classic stuff, so honestly, they might go with something a little more bold.
Yeah.
I hope.
Be interesting. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, for the meat of this episode, Gordon is kind of wanted. He's a wanted man.
Yeah, which was a weird kind of realization for me. It's like, oh no, there's wanted posters of him. I was kind of in Lee's shoes for a second there. I was like, wait, what? Why? Oh yeah, the assault. Mm.
Yep.
Oh
I think,
God.
I think he's working with Penguin, which it's not completely wrong.
No, not wrong.
And then I loved that moment when Jim woke up and saw Nigma,
Yeah,
and he's just like,
like
Ed,
he.
what are you
What?
doing here?
Yeah,
Like,
you're in my house.
uh,
Oh, but like I feel like obviously he has a lot of questions for Ed,
mm-hmm,
and just did not get the chance to ask them yet. But
right.
I'm kind of waiting for that shoe to drop because that's going to be real funny. Like, how did he end up at your house
He
again?
just we're friends.
Why are you like why?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious what Ed's gonna tell him, and it's probably gonna be on a riddle. His riddles were were very interesting. Um,
Yeah,
I loved the one that he gave about home and Lucius, and
just nailed it.
he was like, "Wait, who are you?" He was just totally confused, like he
And
was
you
taken
are,
out of his element.
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, no, yes. Who are you? Oh my God. I was so glad to have Lucius back in this episode, by the
Oh,
way,
it felt
because
so good.
I missed him
It just
so much.
it sucks that he finished the thing on the computer, and he goes
Yep.
out and he's like, "Guys, I'm done. Guys, hello, anyone?" No.
Hmm.
So we don't even get to find out what was on the computer.
Tune in next season. Or
Well,
next half season,
yeah.
I should say.
Do you think this episode, though, we'll get into the end part of it in a second, but do you think this episode was a good mid-season finale?
Um, you know, in a weird way, it felt like more like the season finale.
Really?
Like it felt like it could have, and maybe that's why I even just made that mistake just now, is because it kind of felt like that, like it actually just ended.
Mm-hmm.
Like that arc is over now. So I kind of felt like it could have, like, if this was the end of the season, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I guess if we compare it to well, I guess we'll just refer to The Walking Dead, where it's just like, loose ends everywhere.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
has one huge loose end, but the
yeah,
rest all
for
kind
sure.
of got
Everything
tied up.
it pretty much got tied up. My big problem with this half season that we've had so far is the tagline was Rise of the Villains.
Yes.
And the villains didn't seem any different to me than last season. Like, it just seemed like the show was going about its business, doing what it's always done. Like, the tagline seemed very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, we
I
had
mean,
that nice little story going with the Maniacs, and it just,
they were dead by like the halfway point, right?
yeah, they were in, what, 3 or 4 episodes?
Yeah. And then we were stuck with Barbara for a little while.
Which I'm not going to argue, that was awesome.
No, that was wonderful, but not. I guess it wasn't what we expected. I think we were maybe expecting like for this team of villains to be like a persistent threat, but it really just turned into Galavan.
Right. And I will say I was a little disappointed with Galavan.
It kind of ended on a whimper.
He stirred the pot quite a bit, but, went out with a bang.
God damn it!
Yeah,
And by that you mean like,
a
meh,
gunshot to the head.
but it didn't feel very like,
It didn't feel
I don't know, like,
satisfying.
yeah, it didn't feel great the way it went. It was just like, oh, it's over. There
I
was
mean,
no like, "Ooh, maybe he could be alive or something, or nope,
yeah, no, he's gone.
just that.
Unless the Lazarus pit comes into play at some point, but I don't foresee that. They haven't really hinted at any of that, but it's possible.
I mean, they did take him to Indian Hill, so
Yeah,
who knows?
I
Well,
love
maybe
the umbrella shoved down his throat.
oh my god,
That was
how
great.
fucked was that?
That was great.
So good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested now in what's going on in Indian Hill. I wonder if Freeze is involved in Indian Hill at all.
Could be. I
Because I
don't
mean, we
know.
saw people in the water tubes, the same thing that we've seen Nora in. in the comics, in the old TV, or I should say old movies. Movie, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if tying Freeze to Indian Hill is. I think it has to be done by necessity right now, because those are really the only two stories that are running right now, and
pretty much
to link them together would allow us to explore both of them fairly, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Bruce is more aware than he's ever been about the crap going on in his company. He's got Lucius back. So this seems like a good time for him to start digging into that.
Yep.
So maybe that's where they'll start in this next half season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of the files on that computer are going to deal with Indian Hill as well. So that's going to help point them in the right direction.
Right. And, if the freeze thing is linked, there's a man freezing people solid outside. That's, a pretty, established calling card, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's involved, it's going to be...
Yeah. I don't know. I would absolutely love if Fox paired up with the CW and somehow crossed the Flash and everything into this universe and just got like this cohesive kind of, I know technically this show would be in the past compared to the Flash.
Yes.
Because I know on the Flash, Wayne Enterprises is mentioned, and there's a newspaper article about Batman or Bruce Wayne or something like that. So he's already an adult at that point, but Flash deals with time travel, and you could make it work. I don't know. I would just love it. I want a cohesive storyline. I want DC to rule TV the way Marvel rules movies. That's my vision for DC.
I would love that. I mean, and I don't even really watch those shows, and I would still love for all of that to connect. Maybe get a glimpse of what this Bruce Wayne might be like in the future too.
Yeah,
like that could be a really cool little tease.
It would be awesome. But I don't know. My favorite part about the Galavan storyline that we had going here was just the fact that Tabitha finally had the balls, I guess, for lack of a better term, to stand up for herself and Silver.
Yeah, I was very happy about that because she was really getting to the end of her rope, and I'm glad, she finally got back at him because it was a long, long time coming.
Yeah. I mean, there were only 2 shoots there in the first place, so I think he only intended to save one of them anyway. And if Silver actually lived up to her end of the bargain, I think he would have left Tabitha, to be honest.
Yeah. I can see that.
So, yeah. But
I wonder...
You wonder what?
I was going to say, I wonder, where... I guess that's another loose end that could be coming up, is what they're going to do.
Yeah, I just kind of foresee them... I foresee them just leaving for the time being.
Yeah,
I don't know. They, what is their goal? What is Tabitha's goal? She doesn't really have any plans. She was doing whatever Theo said. I mean, she'll be around for Barbara, maybe, when and if she wakes up, but that's a little ways down the road.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they'll hook back up with Fish when she swims out of the water, and then her squad will be unbeatable.
I would absolutely love if Fish is in Indian Hill.
I like it.
It'd be great. But Silver this episode, she's basically given an impossible task, which was to fall in love with Bruce, or have Bruce fall in love with her, I should say.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, and the kid's on death row. He knows he's on death row, so it's not really the first priority on his mind. But she tried her damnedest.
She did. It was real heartbroken when Bruce was like, "Are you fucking stupid?" No.
I mean, the the little tactic of, shooting the guard, running away, getting caught, thrown back in, making Bruce think that, Theo and her weren't working together kind of thing, almost worked.
It was clever.
It was.
But
it had me going for a second. One whole second until she got back into the cell and I saw her crying and she said the first sentence she said to Bruce or whatever, I was just like, that was part of her goddamn plan the whole time.
Yeah, no, I actually did. She didn't get me at all. I was like, no, you're going for the long con. I was more concerned that if Bruce knew. And thankfully, he did. And he even asked her, like, why do you do this? Like, why can't you just be normal? Be you. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, hey, I'm used to a lifestyle.
It's true. That's like, telling Catwoman to move inside in the mansion and be a fancy girl. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, would never work.
No.
But Bruce did a very, shall we say, chivalrous thing by playing along at the end.
He did
to protect her,
and that's probably why Bruce. I don't know. He always kind of takes the high road, and we know Batman is, one of the superheroes that doesn't kill people. He never kills anyone. So I feel like that's playing into it more. Like he doesn't want the guilt of her death on his hands. Because he knows it's indirectly his fault, and he'd rather not have that happen. So Bruce is the better man here.
Right. I mean, on some level, I think he does care for her well-being, but just not in a way that like he would necessarily want to reciprocate her weird feelings towards him, because it kind of did show by the end of it that she legitimately does care about him.
Yeah.
And, well, you botched it, lady, so too bad.
Yeah, she screamed to stop the ceremony. That was a crazy ritual that was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know, when they were setting up the strike team to come in and take out all Gallivant's thugs, and Cat jumped through the window or whatever. She's just like sitting there, and I was just like, oh my god, yes. And I was like, that basically put Alfred in his place, after it's just like,
yeah,
you slapped the shit out of me, and I'm still gonna help you get Bruce back, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like just, I've earned my place.
Yeah. So I don't know, I loved it, and then definitely Bullock, his gunshot, that was I was like, where the hell is Bullock through this whole thing?
There's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
You go.
It was good. So but before all that, Lee kind of drops a big bombshell.
Yeah. The old tenuous out of nowhere, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. Do you think she's really pregnant?
Yeah. I don't think she'd make that.
Yeah, I don't see her lying about something like that.
No. That's gonna complicate things.
Just a little.
A lot. And then at the end, he's like, will you marry me? And she's all like, yeah. I guess.
I don't see them getting married. I don't.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good for them. Like, oh, there's going to be alimony on a cop salary. It's not going to be good.
I mean, according to the comic book stuff, him and Barbara are going to get back together,
Somehow.
Or he's going to date someone else named Barbara. One of the two.
Or this child will be named Barbara, and then she'll be Batgirl.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because the child would kind of be around the right age, to be honest.
Yeah, like 10, 12 years younger than Bruce would make sense.
But I can't see Lee agreeing to name that child Barbara.
No, God, no. No, that'd be creepy.
Yeah. So I think Lee might have to bite the dust at some point.
And that's a shame because she's actually, someone who really helps out Batman.
Yeah. I mean, that's if we're going with the comic books.
Yeah. Which we're not. We're clearly not.
I mean, they're still loosely following them, so I don't know. Like, I want to hold on to this notion that they're just going to go balls to the walls, do whatever the fuck they want. But at the same time, they're staying really close to the comics. They're just kind of straying a little bit.
I guess, yeah.
In respective territories. And, because I was like, oh, what was his name? Was it Jamal? Who was the Joker?
Jeremy?
No.
Gerard? It was along those lines.
Yeah.
Jerome.
Yes.
Yes.
Jerome. Like, I was convinced he was the Joker.
Yep.
And, it played out, whatever, and they really had me going, and it wasn't.
And then he died.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know, everything else seems pretty accurate still, though. Like, where have they honestly strayed? Where?
I mean, I guess you're right. They haven't strayed, but they've, I guess, just added stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they added the fish stuff. They added the Maniacs. They as far as I know, added Galavan.
Yeah, the Saint Dumas was part of comic
part
book,
of it,
but yeah, Galavan was added.
Himself.
Yeah.
So I guess you're right. They are generally following a steady arc.
Even Firefly, they haven't introduced Firefly. They did the pre-notion of Firefly, and
right.
So Penguin, is maybe a little different than the movie. It's definitely different than the movie. I don't know Penguin's origin from the comics well enough to know how far they strayed from that.
I mean, it's generally like that kind of story. Like, poor person comes in, gets involved in the organized crime. I don't think his story was ever that.
He wasn't, like, abandoned as a child by his parents and...
Maybe in one of the... I don't know. His story's never been that different. I don't remember it being very different. Ever. And he's basically always ended up in the same role.
Because this Penguin seems more like the Penguin from the TV show, to me. That's the way I look at it. Because Penguin on the TV show was never, like... I don't know.
I guess.
Never this deformed creature that lived in the sewers kind of thing,
Yeah, he kind of lives a bit of the high life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess maybe they really will follow the books.
So Barbara's right now, she's the only thing that isn't adding up yet. That's my gray area right now. Is Barbara's the gray area, because I don't know how they're gonna handle it. I don't know if they're gonna, if he's not gonna end up with a Barbara. I don't know if he's gonna end up with that Barbara, a different Barbara. If he's gonna stay with Lee, if Lee, gets killed, maybe loses the baby. I mean, but Gordon's he's had, in the movie anyway, he's had 2 kids, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, he had a son and a daughter.
Yeah, the son was older.
Yeah.
So if this is a boy, that could be that son.
And then if he loses Lee somehow, keeps his son, yeah. And maybe for some reason Barbara wakes up not mentally ill, which I don't think that's how that works. So.
Don't really know.
It's still early. I mean, this is only the 2nd season of the show, so maybe another 5 years.
We got a ways to go.
What we're thinking.
And I still want to see Alfred as Batman.
Or just some kind of Avenger of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The precursor protector Batman, Maybe not call him Batman, but just a masked vigilante.
Yeah. Establish the role a little bit. See, and Bruce even said, like, when Silver asked his favorite animal, he said owls. And I'm like, that's not a bat. Owls. You're supposed to say bat. But I guess you're right. He doesn't know.
Yeah. He hasn't had the Batcave incident yet, right?
Right. Yeah. He hasn't fallen down the well and got swarmed by bats.
Did he fall down the well? Because that was with his father in every iteration that I've ever seen. It was either with his father at the well, or it was running from the parents' funeral.
That's right.
That's every iteration that I've ever seen. So.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Could be done in a flashback, and Bruce just realizes that he's terrified of bats, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'd like to see more flashbacks with the parents.
That would be nice.
But I feel like we're getting too far from that, because the actor who plays Bruce is getting older and older, and it's going to be difficult to go back and do flashbacks like that unless it's stuff that they've already filmed, which I don't think any TV series has ever had the thoughts to do something like that. For when they have a child actor, just film a whole bunch of backstock stuff that you can use, and then use it like 5 or 6 years after the show is in, like, that just seems like a genius idea for TV shows, because then you could be like, oh my god, that is him as a kid. Like, what?
Yeah, that would be incredible if they had the foresight, but I don't think, like you said, I don't think any show's ever done that.
No.
It would. Oh, man, I don't think shows even write that far ahead.
They don't.
Honestly.
They don't, but
they really don't.
With Batman, you kind of know.
You can just kind of have that.
Yeah, you know some of the iconic scenes.
Right. And you can just be like, okay, fond memory of XYZ with mom and dad, and just use that sometime. Yeah, it would work. It would absolutely work.
If they went and filmed, Bruce and his parents at the Gotham Zoo, whatever, and just, they don't have to have heavy dialogue, or or it could even be some dialogue that they dub in later, kind of thing.
What they could do is, like, if it was sort of like a dream sequence where, like, the actor was, his age, but, like, having kind of like an out-of-body experience memory sort of thing, like, watching the back of his child head walking with his parents, like, with his hands in their hands or whatever, and maybe they could pull something like that, but I don't know. I agree. It would be nice.
Yeah. You have anything else for this episode?
Yeah, actually, one more thing.
Okay.
The lovely, wonderful quips that were shared between Alfred and Selena. It's like, I warned you, Master Bruce. He's like, I warned him too. And he's like, I was going to get out on my own. I would have been fine. You didn't need to come save me. I was like, oh my god, yes. I'm like, that's the Batman I know.
Yeah, no, that was great. Absolutely great.
But it was cute, because, like, Alfred and Selena kind of were like, okay, yeah, we get each other now. We got to watch out for this idiot.
Pretty much.
So that was nice.
Yeah. Normally this is the point in the show where we will read the synopsis for the next episode. However, we are on break until the end of February. I think let me look at a calendar real quick. February, I think they said the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. So it's literally the last day in February.
Holy crap, it's a leap year.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
It is. So, that is all, folks. John, where can the people find you staying warm this winter?
You can find me in my frosted tips at no more on Twitter.
Don't forget to winterize your pipes.
Yeah, of course. You don't want them freezing up.
Yeah. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You find us both and others on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. That is pretty much robotically implanted into my brain now.
After all this time,
I don't even have to think about it. It just comes out, like, all of it. Word vomit. Until the end of February.
February. God, bye guys.
See you guys later.
It's gonna be a while.
We will. Can't think of any really bad winter puns to end the show on.
Just play Ice Ice Baby.